Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the backyard.
Yeah, welcome back to the backyard.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a channel life update, kind of a little check-in.
It's a check-in.
Yeah, obviously we do our live streams now. Like I said, we're trying to do that every week, but like I said on the last video that we did like this, not everybody can tune into the live streams or feels fun watching the replays. So we're checking in like this for you.
Yeah.
Greta's over here sleeping, by the way. You can kind of see her a little bit, but she's there.
She's there. She wants to be a part of it, so we
does.
We bring her out here.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, so we are coming off of the 70th celebration at Disneyland. If you follow that stuff on our channel, you know about it. And if you don't, you're like, what was with all the Disney, like, just annihilating us? Well, that's what happens when there's something that goes down over there, and we like to be there and cover all that stuff. And it was fun.
It was a really good time. There's a very big airplane going. Like, I swear, every time we turn on this camera, the Cessnas, they're like, meh.
Now, I don't know how much the mic is picking it up, but
just know it's happening.
Yeah.
I will say, though, it was a lot. It was like, what was it, like 4 or 5 days of Disney that we did, which is kind of a lot for us normally.
Because there was a lead up to it, and we always like to lead up to it and get excited about it. And then
we had the preview,
and then the actual day that it premiered to the public and all that stuff. So,
which is kind of funny. I think we really had like a lot of thoughts about that, and so this is why this was kind of a good thing that we're like following up all of that with how did it go. So we're gonna touch on that. So yeah, we have a lot of thoughts and a lot that happened over the course of the last 7 days, I guess you could say, since we last checked in. I think the last time we did one of these kind of check-ins, I want to say it was before we went camping for our second time. Possibly.
I would say.
Possibly
we had more June gloom, and we had the up and down weather, but that's normal for May for us. Mm-hmm. But now it's all nice, and this week, by the way, we're going to have it. They said not record breaking, but it's definitely going to be hot. Like warm. They said, like over 100 in Woodland Hills.
Yeah,
that's a good barometer to know. Like for the whole valley, that means the valley will be,
it's going to be hot.
And yeah, we're probably definitely going to the beach this week. Oh,
at least, a few times. We do have to do our Malibu update. I know everybody keeps asking, like, when are you going back to Malibu? When are you going back? We knew this past week, that we knew that was going to be
the way it was.
Yeah. The only thing, we would have gone 2 weeks ago, but the beach camping trip, like, that kind of takes time to, like, prep and go to, and then get home and unpack, and then we did those semi back to back. So I think that's the reason we didn't just get up there, because it's a little bit of a haul, and we have to do that stuff. So, but I'm pretty sure we did the right call, because knowing that it's getting so much warmer, if I was to go and do our Malibu update, heck yeah, I'm going to take it when it's 80 degrees at the beach, right?
Well, yeah.
Bring it on.
That's the thing. Plus,
bring it on.
The plan was that they wanted to try to get the road open by the 31st or whatever.
Oh, really? Was it the 31st?
Yeah, because they want it, like, that's when summer starts.
Technically.
Oh,
dang.
They're feeling that pressure. It's like the movie Jaws, when the mayor's like, they're saying, he's like, close the beach, man, there's a shark. He's like, we can't close the beach. This is like our biggest tourist time of year. Like, you can't do that. And the mayor's freaking out. And it's like,
that's what this is.
The pressure to open for summer for Malibu with the businesses, and So.
Well, I did see a few people that we know, just like, mutual friends and whatnot. Like, I've seen their reels where they're going up to Malibu, and because I forget that we can get through because we're residents, but if you can't get through and you're coming from from Santa Monica area, you're going all the way around, and that's what's just
you got to
really
go 405 to the 101, and then one of the canyons.
And we did that a few times before we were allowed access in there.
You take the 405 to the 101, get out of here.
Get out of here. It'd be jammed. And it's jammed all the... Dude, the 101 is always jammed.
What are you doing here?
Okay, sorry. But the point is, though, we did that a few times, and it's not fun.
Oh, yeah, the roundabout. I call it the roundabout. sometimes coming back from work, I would have to do that. It depended on what was going on or where I was coming from.
Yeah,
because
we've had to do it.
a lot of times I was able to take Sunset through and then up PCH, but having to go the roundabout it's fun.
It's not fun. Don't
I
listen
say
to
it.
him.
I
He's
say
lying.
it facetiously, like
He's
it's
lying.
so fun. I love it. It's so fun. But we're trying to get up there, and we're trying to get in summer mode. It's like right now in my brain, it's like surfboards and bikes and frisbees.
It's
and
everything outdoorsy.
That's in my brain.
Yeah,
that's in my brain.
Well, we've
Water.
had the time change. We've had the. It's like I want to be out in the sunshine. I want to be doing all these fun things.
Oh, we are.
And it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
That's what you do when you live in SoCal.
I think that was the other thing too. Like with our beach camping trips, obviously there's only so many beach camping spots you can do. There are a few that are on our list that we're gonna try and do.
Yeah.
But we're talking about it, and we're going to show you our day trips. Like, you know, that's definitely, that to me is part of it, because if you can't camp.
You can day trip really well, though.
Heck yeah.
Or what do they call it? Day use, sometimes on those parking lots.
Yeah.
Where they're like, there's some campgrounds that have day use.
And wait till
areas.
you see how Best Life and Beyond day you. Cheers to that. To the Best Life and Beyond. We're going to show you how we day you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be fun. And I kind of think since, you know how like tragedies and sad things happen and they kind of push you to do other things. So if we had our Malibu place, we would likely just kind of stay in that area. You know, when we do the beach thing, we do that. Or
we would do those.
You know, we would go to Huntington and Newport and all that stuff. But
generally, our beach time would be spent there.
Yes, that's the better way to say it.
Is what she's trying to say, because...
Thank you for decoding.
Well, we pay for it, and so there's long stretches of time that we are not there, and so...
And now that the fires happened and we just can't live that same, especially for sure this year.
Yeah.
We can't do what we would normally do, so it's like... We're kind of expanding. It's kind of like when...
It's fun, though. It's like you have no choice, so you might as well make it fun.
Yep.
And
make the best of it, no matter what.
Because I also don't think the water quality is good yet up there still.
No,
I mean, it's going to take a while. That was a heavy load on the Santa Monica Bay.
And you also have to remember they're still doing the cleanup process, and that has to go somewhere.
That's getting stirred up, and every time the high tide comes in and drags it back out. Yeah, so what you're saying is exactly right. That it's still being contaminated. If it's, whatever was in there maybe is filtered out, maybe, but I don't believe that. But it's still actively being contaminated on the daily because of natural runoff and things from the process of cleaning up. So
yeah, and it's like just because they say, you can recreate and all that, like, I don't know how much
I mitigate my own risk on that kind of stuff. And, growing up surfing in the Santa Monica Bay, they'll tell you that on certain days, it's like legal levels or legal safe levels that they say, it's okay, you can go in. It's, it might not be like 100% clean, but they're like, it's okay to go in kind of thing.
Right.
Well, in growing up in Santa Monica Bay and surfing, I would still get sick.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a relative clean. It's like, it's clean. Like considering what is being dumped into this bay. So considering what has happened, I'm like, I'm in no hurry to get back in up there. But now it's terrible, but
will we, when we're down there, we're giving you that update and we're hanging out for the day. Like, we'll make a day of it and we'll still have fun and do all of that.
Yeah.
But it's like, would we go to that length that we did where we would, post up all day, go swimming? It's like, the beach day. We're not going to really do that this summer.
I mean,
it's just not happening.
It's so sad because in living down there and on those types of days, you'd spend more time in the water than you would on land.
Yep.
Whether you were kayaking or swimming or surfing or whatever, just being on the water. Like sometimes it would get that hot too.
Right.
To where that's all we would do, and it would just rinse and repeat every day. Just wake up. All right.
Or
do we need to go to the store? Yeah, we just need to replenish this, and this. Okay, and then we'll get back and let's go to the store early. And you see everybody. It's so funny. In the morning, the locals going and getting their stuff because they're going to go post up all day.
Mm-hmm.
They're.
But we're going to show you how to do that at other beaches now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we're going to do.
Yeah, to where it's relatable for anybody can do what we're doing if you live anywhere in California, really.
Yeah, and we actually have 2 trips planned.
Yeah.
So that's something pretty exciting. We can tell you one of them, right? Because it's coming up.
Sure, I don't know which one you're talking about, but
The soonest one that we're doing.
which is
Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
Sometimes
the soonest
Katie
trip.
does all the planning, and she is the calendar. She is the Best Life calendar.
Hi, I'm Best Life calendar.
Yeah, you know those jumbo calendars? Yeah, she has a T-shirt actually that she wears sometimes that says like.
No, I really do have the jumbo calendar. And what's crazy though is like even though I plan and do all of this stuff, stuff still just doesn't work out. Like the curveballs that get
or things
thrown.
will pop up. And we're also into spontaneity, so if something pops up or an opportunity or like we see something and we go, hey, look, we'll do it. We'll go, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the beauty of getting to do this, is that type of spontaneity is kind of, I think it's rewarded because we make a fun video.
I think so too.
You know?
The other question we keep getting a lot of is the LA videos. We again kind of took a little bit of a break on those because we do a lot of the things that are in our normal rotation, but again, with the beach camping and then with the Disneyland 70, it was kind of like, you kind of pick what you want to do and what you can do in that time.
We had to park the LA one for a minute.
Yeah, so we're definitely, before Vegas, we're going to try and at least get one more LA video for the month, at least one.
Be nice.
And then a Malibu. But what's taking precedence right now is the Malibu update because we're really due for one, especially before summer. Like,
yeah,
summer, it's coming.
Well, if they open that road, which I have a prediction. I don't think they're going to.
I don't think so either.
I think they've said that in order to, and I think they honestly were trying, but I think there were some things that came up a couple of weeks ago about the road,
right,
that weren't realities prior to them announcing that, and
right.
It's stuff that I could see from the beach. You could look at the road through where the houses used to be, and I think I showed it in a video, and it looks like rocks stacked up on top of each other to support the highway, like old school, because that was the old Roosevelt Highway, and it was tiny. It was just carved out of the side of the hill. But the techniques they used in those old days, it was like whatever you had to do. I mean, there's probably tree branches and stuff in there too. There's like whatever they had. But that's not how they build stuff anymore. And it's, I think they found that like there's some issues with the highway. So I don't know. My prediction is that it's not going to open right on time. Maybe a few weeks after or something like that.
If it does.
If at all. I don't know. I really don't know.
And then what's that scene going to be like? That's what I wonder. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to kind of document it like before those changes may or may not happen.
Right, because it's going to be a pass-through. They're making it, if and when they open it, like no stopping by the time when you get to out of that zone, because they have the zone delineated with signage and whatever.
Yeah.
Then you're able to stop and by the pier and all that stuff and do normal Malibu stuff that you would and park and whatever. But anywhere in between, like Palisades and the pier, is going to be like a no stopping zone.
Yep.
It's just a drive through to get there, which is what they need for the businesses and all that stuff. It's just, will they be able to do that? I don't know.
And then how long is it going to be? I have so many
One
questions.
lane.
Yeah, one lane, and you can't really fly by like you used to.
It's already crazy. It's already crazy. Like on the weekends, with a highway that was fully functioning.
Right.
We, like I was saying, we'd go to the market early because on any given Saturday or Sunday, if it's sunny out at all, and especially if it's the summer or it's a holiday, that highway from 9 in the morning till, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the afternoon going in is gridlock. I mean gridlock. And then somewhere around 2 or 3 o'clock, it starts shifting and going the other way back towards Santa Monica. And then that side's gridlock till at least 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
That's where we're pretty lucky, I guess. And we don't realize in Orange County just how lucky we are that, like, most of these beaches are, like, set up.
Well, there's arteries that get to them that you don't need to take PCH.
Yeah.
Malibu's set up in an interesting way to where there's not a lot of arteries that get there in between. You know what I mean? Like La Tuna Canyon is a narrow little there's no point in taking that, you know.
Yeah, and it's like
even Topanga, it's
right.
just you know.
It's a lot. Like even there are parts of Laguna that, you know, and you know, if you like I said, not all, but like it's just nothing near what it is with Malibu. So in a way, it's going to be fun to be able to like show you, talk to you about it. Like this summer is going to be, it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited for it. I feel like we're really, really doing a lot of fun stuff. And I mean, and another fun thing is going back to Vegas. And that trip will look a little different too. I know our last trip, a lot of people, they were like, whoa, this last trip you did was really different because, A, we went down there for a painting thing. We were there a lot longer.
Yeah.
We had Greta with us. Things were just different.
Yeah.
I think we're still going to probably take her this time just because she liked it so much and we liked it so. We loved having her there. They were so accommodating. It was just, it was easy. It was the way we do Vegas. You know, everybody does Vegas differently.
She has the right temperament for it.
Yeah.
She's able to chill. She loves being around people and energy, and she's into it. So
yeah, it's a very different thing. Like when I had Binky would do car rides. Like she liked to be with me, so she was like okay with it. Yeah. Whereas this one over here, I've never had a dog like that wants to go on car rides. Like car rides are like walks to her. Mm-hmm. I mean, sitting in, like we could take her and just sit in traffic and she is happy as a clam. Like I've never had a dog like that.
I think she knows that she's going somewhere and on the other side of this.
But no, because even when we run errands, like today we ran an errand and she was so stoked to be in the car.
Yeah.
She didn't even get out of the car once. And she's happy. So I think the thing is, you know, you really have to, if you are taking a dog to Vegas, I've learned, like, they have to be the right temperament that, they want to sit in a stroller and just look at everything and do all that.
I stuck to the
let's get
tablecloth.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, they do have to be the right temperament and, you know.
You can't have, like, if she was reactive or she barked at things or
don't bring that dog to Vegas. Don't. I would say absolutely not.
Yeah, we're lucky that she is just like kind of an observer and she just kind of chills.
She watched the Bellagio fountains. I've never had a dog do that. She looked in the observatory. She was literally like looking around.
Well, she watches television too, so she's she's pretty sharp as far as I believe that she thinks the television is a window.
I think so too.
To the outside because we'll play something with animals and she'll look at it and growl at it and then she'll run out to see if it's out the side, behind where the TV would be physically. So
we had National Geographic on and it had a coyote on there.
Oh, she growled.
She growled and she barked at it and then she went to the window to try and see if it was in our backyard. So I think
because it was like walking across the screen. And then so she thought, oh, it's over there because it left the screen. It's got to be over there, And of course,
pretty
she
funny.
would think that because
it was a good time. But yeah, so Vegas is going to be fun.
Yep.
It's not a very long trip, but it's just to be there is going to be nice. Just to
get out of the desert.
Yeah, there's something fun about that. Then we have another trip coming up. In June.
Yep.
Wow, those wind chimes are chiming.
They're going.
They are going. Then we have another one. We won't tell you where that is yet. It's somewhere we haven't been in a very long time, so that's going to be cool. Some fun new experiences, and I don't know, we might have a couple things in between. We'll see if we can make it work. I don't know. You just you never know.
We'll do some garden updates. There's some crazy stuff over there. Like
things have developed quickly.
I can't believe how fast certain things have grown, and other things are not so much. Yeah. But I guess that's just that's the nature of it, right? Nature, get it?
Yeah. It's true though. Like there's some things that like on our last update that were thriving that are not thriving anymore. They are like going like downhill. Yeah. And then there's some things that were kind of just not really moving and now they're just going crazy. So it's weird how in the span of even 5 days they're changing. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
So, but again,
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like if it's there is a funny sounding bird. He's like,
yeah, they're going crazy. Yeah, it's really fun, and it's getting warmer, so we now have to get in the mode of like possibly protecting it from excessive
getting too
heat
hot
or whatever.
That's really that's crazy.
That's
but
a
then
reality, but
it's like our peppers. They really need a lot of warmth.
Our
Like
peppers
they like
caliente?
it hot. Yeah, they need it hot.
When we were at DCA yesterday, I noticed over there at the Cozy Cone, everything's a cone. So cool. They do such a good job.
Everything's a cone.
And we noticed a new cone that we had never noticed in one of the plants.
By the way, we were there yesterday not filming because people
were filming, yeah. But there were these great little flowers on these vines that were like little trumpet vine type flowers, but they look like cones. They were yellow.
Yeah, like yellow and orange.
Very cool. We'd never noticed those.
So creative.
But in noticing those, we looked at the planter that has the daisies, and the planter is a cone upside down, a giant one. They made it, created it, but it sits in like a little, iron thing. I was like, that is such a great idea for a planter in general. Even a regular cone you could use.
I want this.
Yeah, or like if you could get one of those. But we thought that is so,
No, it
so
is
fun.
really,
So
it's super rad.
I digress. I had to tell you guys about the cones.
Well, speaking of Disney, the one thing I wanted to chat about, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I guess my algorithm knows that I like to see the controversial takes of what's happening at Disney, I guess.
Oh, really?
So, those toy plastic keys that have the pins inside? If you're not...
It's called the key to Disneyland.
It's called the key to Disneyland? Okay. Yeah. So, for the 70th, they came out with these plastic keys that have, lights. It literally looks like, and I'm not saying this to be mean, it looks like a Fisher-Price toy.
Yeah,
For all intents and purposes, let's be real.
Yeah,
it looks like a Fisher-Price
how
toy.
a Fisher-Price toy will always be, plastic and kind of
it's for ages
exaggerated in its size.
Yes, yeah.
For kids to be a little chunkier and a little bit,
and
easier
it's
to deal
lights
with.
And sounds.
Right. As we get older, things get a little more intricate, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Disney came out with those. I think they are $60 to $70, and you can collect up to 9 pins that are hidden in there.
It's a cool idea.
You have to go around throughout the park, and you have to stick the key into the little keyhole, if you will. You don't turn it, you literally just stick it in there. Bubbles, lights, sounds, that's what happens. And then one of the lights lights up for each land, and then you go to every land at the end of the night. It was in our video where you saw
the payoff.
The payoff, right? So there's a big thing starting, and I got served up at least 3 or 4 of these videos just today, this morning when I woke up. There's this trend of making fun of Disney adults, which I get it. We are Disney adults. We're a weird bunch, okay? We're not super...
We can admit
We're not super friggin' normal, okay?
Yeah,
we get it.
You have to be able to admit that.
You gotta be able to admit it, and I do.
Yes.
However, there's this thing where it's Disney adults will literally buy anything, and I agree, I'm a Disney adult, but I won't buy anything.
Yeah.
How many popcorn buckets do I not have? Because I don't.
Yeah.
No. Not that there's
Yeah.
anything wrong with that. But anyway, so the latest thing is oh, what are the Disney adults at it again? And it does, if you think about it and you look at it from the outside, because I try and see all sides of it.
Yeah.
It's not harming anybody. Enjoy it, whatever.
Of course.
But they're dude, the Disney adults are buying these $70 plastic keys that look like Fisher-Price toys that you can possibly get one of 9 pins, and it's this thing where from the out, do you know what I'm saying? From the outside it does look a little weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It does. And I think it's first of all, I think it's a great idea because I love interactivity, and they made a game out of it that you can if you we talked to the people that we talked to said it took them all day, right?
Yeah, they said here was the thing about standing in lines.
The lines were a little bit long because it was the first day, but
yeah,
it's something you can do as a diversion if you're there for a couple of days. Find a few of them here and there, and then at the end of your trip, go do the payoff and whatever if that's what you're into. But I get what you're saying, where it's an interactive game, so adults can play, and it's kind of fun, I guess. But at the end of the day,
what is the game part of it?
Well, just going around and completing the
mission,
to get the lights. Yeah, it's a completion thing, right?
Okay.
So I don't know. I just think that sure, adults can indulge in this thing, but it is a little funny to. I was watching people walking around with them, and like this one person had like a very serious look on their face, and they were walking somewhere and they were holding that thing, much like you would hold like a cell phone and walk around.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looked kind of funny. Like, I think that person forgot that they were holding that thing. It just became, I'm just holding something like a bag. I'm holding a whatever, and it was just this key, and it just looked kind of funny. Like, why are you holding that thing? Like,
right. It's an interesting
if you were to
thing.
just step in from the outside and be like, what is that, dude? What are you doing?
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe something else. I don't know.
It's just one of those things where it does as a concept. Like I said, I see both sides of it. First of all, I am one of those people that I'm like, if you're not hurting anybody and it makes you happy, do it. I don't care. Like, I am stoked about that. But I am able to see the humor and the weirdness in it too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can see both sides of it. Whereas, like, from the outside, you're trying to, like, how weird does that look? Like, you stick it in something so that it lights up and makes bubbles. Then you get one pin that, even if you were to get one pin at Disney, unless it's a massive jumbo, I don't even think one pin at Disney costs you over $65.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's about the hunt and all
it's
that.
It's about the hunt, and
But the one thing I have the issue with, and this will iron itself out because it was the first day.
Oh, yeah.
But when there's a line for something like that, right?
Yeah.
Understandable. Once you get about maybe 6 people away from it, maybe even 7, you can hear what's going on. Once you get about 4 people away, you can definitely see what's going on. And once you're maybe third, second, and it's next, you've seen the experience now about 5 times.
Not to mention social media, too.
Well, social media, but like as far as your pure experience in that moment, in the now, it's getting replayed, and then you get to go do it. And what I've noticed is people are kind of lackluster by the time they get to do it, because it's like, yeah, okay. Almost like they had their experience when they were watching the person in front of them. Like that's when they got the endorphin rush.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, okay, cool, yeah, I got to do it. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it just seemed like, because it was so right there, like,
that's what you were observing.
I was able to observe it and walk by and go, oh, that's cool, and then keep going.
Right.
Whereas that should be an experience for the person,
Yeah, I saw that with the activations. I saw a lot of that where people were like, oh, so that's what it does. And then I saw people like get out of line or whatever, which is whatever, do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But
it's just because it's new. So I won't say that it's not a complaint. It was just an observation that I noticed. And so
I also think they should have, I mean, I guess they're going to see how popular it gets, but let's just say those lines persist. Then I would put in, a few more or something like hidden, and
I feel like
maybe you have 3 different ones you could choose from in Fantasyland, for an example.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was like 50 of those things, or 70 for the 70th.
That's a lot.
I know, but remember how they did 50?
Yeah, but 70 is a lot for our park.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's insane. But I see what you're saying. So yeah, it's just this funny thing though that I had to kind of like. Disney adults do get a lot of crap for just being a fan of Disney because it is childlike. Again, it is what it is, and I think it's pretty cool though. And I know my niece really wants one of those keys. She was like, I want to do that. I showed her a video and she's like, I want to.
Yeah, any pin trader would be into that, and I knew Kaylee right away. It's perfect for her age, actually.
For her, she really liked the thought of having to go on the mission to stick the key.
And I agree. I think that's great.
I think that's where you're paying the extra because, again, a pin is not going to run you that much. Like, pins are under $20 most of the time, correct?
Yeah.
So that's where I could see, like I said, I could also see the other side where it's like, you're paying how much to do what? Like, that's kind of insane.
I wonder if also there's going to be a thing where, because I heard if you, like, say you want to buy multiple of them to try to complete the set, if you get a double, I heard through the grapevine, I don't know if this is true, but that you can go to the counter at a pin trader, and
they have a separate thing for them, as I saw,
and they'll trade you so that you don't have to live with a double because you just paid $70 and you got the same one.
Yep.
So that's really neat.
There are people that are, so say you're a group of like a family of 5 and you each got a key and you want to collect 5 pins of whatever 5 you like. Let's just say 3 of you got doubles or whatever, there's a separate, you can't trade like a random
You have
pin
to trade within that set.
You have to trade within that set. Like, I've seen that, and we'll look when we're at Disneyland next to do our Disneyland Weekly Update, which is coming up pretty soon. So we'll check it out. I'm curious to see what it'll be like. You know?
You know what would be neat too, though, is if they expanded the idea maybe to the app or something, and had a key on your app that you could do more things with that were, within the park that, we don't have to buy a $70 key.
Yeah.
But there's a key within your app that's like does some other things, or I don't know. That's me just spitballing here, but
I think as far as the 70th goes, especially because now that we're on the other side of it, like we set our expectations really low.
Yeah.
Like really low, because if you're...
Because we went to the 50th at Walt Disney World. That's why we set
once
them low.
you go to that, I think we managed our expectations, number one. And number two, if you've been anywhere at Disneyland over the past year or two, or let's just say since the reopening, it's not been the same place. Does that mean we can't still have a blast? Of course, we still had a really good time. We
great.
Laughed so much that day.
And the park was empty.
The park was empty.
The rides were empty, let's say. I guess that's...
Like, that was fun. But as far as, like, the actual celebration, it was so lackluster. They did have that cavalcade that, like, we didn't go out of our way to see because... I'm not really worried about that. Also, I still don't understand what the bears have to do with Disneyland.
They're from that other park, right?
They're from the Asian parks. I want to say specifically Tokyo, maybe Shanghai and Hong Kong as well.
Well, here was the thing that I thought, and it's a stretch, but I was trying to figure out what their reasoning was. Isn't the Tokyo one modeled after Disneyland, like specifically, like they...
No, that would be, I think, Hong Kong. Well, Hong Kong had the same castle as us.
No, but there was one that was like
Then I don't know.
They wanted it to be like Disneyland, and it's called Disneyland, like Tokyo Disneyland or something. Or I don't know, maybe whatever. I think that's where they're from, and they're like, it's like.
I personally think it was just to sell more merchandise to see how it's going to do.
Of course.
And sell more merch. That's all I think it was, because.
But, hey, it's the same reason the Disco Yeti showed up.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to sell some. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. But the point is, though. As far as the 70th goes, as far as our review goes of like how it went, it was cool to see the new additions and to see Small World. The biggest celebration and highlight for the 70th, and I think everybody in our group agreed, was Tapestry. Tapestry of Happiness back there at Small World was a 5-minute light projection and music show. No pyro.
Well,
but it still did a better job at celebrating Disneyland way more than Wondrous. Like, Wondrous is a wonderful show.
We have theories, and I think, honestly, it's my theory that was supposed to be the fireworks show, and the budget got cut. It got stripped down to what it is. And my clue was the fact that it made perfect sense that would be the fireworks show. But the main clue was at the end when they project fireworks onto Small World and likely the castle.
For Tapestry,
right? Is Tapestry not playing the castle?
No.
Okay, so my bad. When it plays on Small World, they project fireworks at the end of a big finale that sounds just like a typical awesome Disney finale for a fireworks show. Da, 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 and then those pauses, and then time for them to launch and all that. But they projected fireworks on an outdoor surface. Usually you project fireworks on inside because you can't, like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway.
Yeah.
Because you can't do fireworks inside.
Right.
Why? So, anyways, it's still the greatest thing in the 70th. And I also, in regards to the 70th, you have to look at it as like this is their summer
thing.
Their summer activation, for lack of a better term. I know that term gets used a lot now.
Summer marketing too. I guess
it's their summer marketing blanket. Like one year it was Pixar Fest, one year it was something else. It's like there's always something for the summer
for the
that's
most part.
like like, hey, when you go this year, it's going to be this. Like, there has to be something that's like refreshed
What's
and
that draw?
current, so that when people go, they're like, oh yeah, I got a 70th thing, because that's what they were doing when I was there. It kind of
Well, yeah, because they can't rely on the entertainment that they have now. Like, I would say Fantasmic is the worst it's ever looked. You still don't have Murphy Fix.
Yeah.
I've heard Pyro's been cut back a lot, and you know, so there's that. There's such a lack of entertainment in those parks.
Yeah.
So I think doing the 70th was a way to kind of say, hey, we do have stuff going on. Like, we need to have some sort of a draw because,
Well, and
you know.
Paint the Night has really...
Oh, Paint the Night.
It's such a great parade.
So good.
And we now have the effect of having a parade back where it pulls people off attractions, and there's actually times where you can get on things.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that for a while.
Yeah.
The rides were just getting
parade.
annihilated from 8 in the morning till midnight.
Yeah.
There was no...
It
wasn't
constant.
letting up. And now it's back where there's so many people waiting for those parades and the tapestry thing and the fireworks. You can go ride crush.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, overall for the 70th, now we would have done, you saw, we got the Magic Band. We were like, yeah, we're going to try an activation. And then looked at those lines and went, nope, not doing that.
We gave it a good honest try because we bought the thing.
Yeah. But I think my point of this is you almost wouldn't have known it was the 70th or anything really going on, because there wasn't anything like special to see or do besides tapestry,
right,
and then Paint the Night. But again, Paint the Night is not a new parade. I'm not complaining about it. I am so happy to have Paint the Night there.
Saying, well, I think the debate or the conversation is like,
well, I wasn't there.
What actually is the 70th anniversary celebration?
Like, it basically is merch,
right?
And another thing too, I wasn't going. You may have noticed we didn't go out of our way to like try all these new foods and stuff, because nothing honestly appealed to me. We used to be the channel that would go, okay, well, it's the 70th, we gotta try some of these things or whatever. Like,
right, and here's what we liked and here's what we didn't like.
Right, we are now, and we've been doing this, where we're getting stuff that we want to do that a normal human would do.
Right.
And if I looked at that and I really walked in there like we did and we were like, meh, nothing's standing out.
Like, oh man, we have to go. There's this thing I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
We have to get this.
Nothing appealed to me like that. Now, since we've been there and people have been trying things and whatever, I've heard from at least 2 of my real life friends that have also gone there and said, hey, this was really good. You should give this a try.
Right.
It didn't really appeal to me either, but I tried it and it was amazing.
Right.
So you'll see that. Like, that's the reality that you'll see on our weekly updates, is we'll do that like we normally would. Now, again, was the 70th, how do I put this? We didn't expect much for the 70th. We're like,
that's why
75.
We had a good time.
You know what I mean? Like, we knew 75 was where, if Disneyland's doing anything, that's probably going to be the big thing.
That's always, it's more of a significant number.
Yeah. So I guess the way we looked at the 70th is like, all right, they're going to do some decor. There's going to be some food. There's definitely going to be merch.
Yeah, it's the summer overlay.
Yeah, and it was fun. And again, we went into it with like, we're going to have a blast. We're not overly expecting stuff. We get to have Paint the Night. I get to wear my light up jacket.
There you go.
Things are great. Like, we had a really good time.
Yeah, it was a blast. Wore me out.
Oh, I was tired.
And now it's like, I almost feel like it's like, okay, summer's here now. Like, that thing started.
I want to celebrate the summer.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to be doing that, and especially this week because it's kind of a good.
Oh, it's a nice warm week.
Water's warming up, by the way. Last I looked, it was 62 and a half, maybe 63 by now. It's definitely on the rise. If we can get that water past 65.
Water. By the way, he's talking about ocean water because.
Sorry.
You got to be a little clearer there, buddy.
That if we can get it past 65, we're in good territory to be, not
we'll be doing good.
Too cold. So yeah, we're getting excited.
I'm really excited, and we actually have to do a lot around our house today. Like, we did half of the garage and cleaned out half of it. Now we have to do the other half. So just know, while you're watching this, your good pals Katie Spence and maybe even a little bit of Greta,
we're knee deep in it. Yeah.
We're cleaning out the garage.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for summer. We're making summer happen. It's happening.
Got to make room for that ping pong table. I wish.
Yeah.
I want like a Brady garage with a ping pong table and
I want a dartboard.
and a tarp board.
But I want one in the
We
backyard.
have the fridge already.
Yes, we got a garagerator.
We just need the ping pong table that like folds out, and then fold it up and shove it in the corner kind of thing. If we have space, I don't,
Hey, miracles happen.
You never know.
Could happen.
But at any rate, thanks for watching, you guys. That was a fun little chat, and look forward to doing some really fun stuff this week. So
yeah,
we can't
and our
wait to
live
share.
stream, so make sure that you subscribe and hit your bell notifications. Turn those on because we don't really have a scheduled live stream, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the little bell notifications. Exactly, and we will see you next time. Thanks to our Patreons. Thank you for watching. Greta says goodbye. I'm waving for her. She's passed out. Bye-bye, everybody.